Good morning, everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technologies, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending today's webinar with Cambium Networks. Today's host is Judy McCall. She'll be presenting today. Just to let you know, Judy is the manager of Channel Sales Central Region. If you have any questions, please feel free to submit them in the question box at the end of the presentation, and I'll read them off to Judy, and she'll answer them for us at that time. Judy, thank you so much for being with us today. Please go ahead and take it on over. The floor is now yours.
Thank you, Julie. Well, good morning, everybody. Today we're going to talk about Cambium Networks CN Pilot E700 outdoor solution and really the overall solution for the outdoor that we offer here at Cambium Networks. When you look at Cambium Networks, if you're not familiar with us, that's just a little depiction of us across the globe. So we're in 140 countries. We have over 8 million radios installed. So we have a large installed base that includes all of our solutions. And we have over 4,000 channel partners that represent us across the globe. So Cambium Networks right now is about a $250 million company with 650 employees. I joined the company just about 2 years ago, and I was employee number 398. So we have tremendous growth and tremendous penetration in all things wireless. When we look at CN Pilot, that is our Wi-Fi line here at Cambium Networks. But let's look at the outdoor solutions and the verticals that we cover and some of our prestigious customers. We have customers worldwide, which we just discussed. But when you look at our outdoor solutions, 31 county schools in the United Kingdom use our outdoor solutions to cover playgrounds. A great sense that the teachers can use the Wi-Fi while they're watching the kids, and the ability for parents when they come to visit and take them to lunch or join them for lunch that they can have Wi-Fi access to. We're in the vertical of hospitality. So this is just a look at the Atwater Hotel. It is on Catalina Island, and we actually have 2 hotels installed with our indoor and outdoor Wi-Fi there on Catalina Island. And there you can see how we cover the rooftop there at Johnny Rockets, and then the outside and inside of that location. And then the fun one that we installed this winter is a ski lift and resort in Italy. We actually have our E500 outdoor APs going up the mountain. So as everybody's going up to take their ride back down, they do have Wi-Fi. So great installation and a fun customer to talk to and talk about. I had the pleasure of working with the national parks through a partner of ours here at Cambium Networks, and last year they did Lake Mead and Lake Powell with our outdoor APs. So public Wi-Fi is also very popular and an application in a vertical that is growing dramatically. Many people want to put outdoor APs for the businesses to allow their patrons to use it indoor or outdoor. So a lot of worldwide good customers that are references of ours with all of our solutions. Let's talk a little bit about an outdoor solution that is being installed as we speak. The largest cricket stadium in India uses our outdoor solutions to cover many areas of the stadium. When you look at it, and you look at what the scene right now, you can see how many spectators are there. We use our E502S and our E600 indoor when it's the indoor hallways for the vendors. But the E502S is used because it is a 30-degree sector antenna, and it handles that density of 1 or 2 devices per person. Plus, it still allows the vendors to charge for their food through the Cube credit cards and also the different payment methods. So great installation, high density with that 502S outdoor. Now we look at Cambium Networks and we talk about the 4 billion people that are still unconnected. So we focus on how do we connect all those people through our partners with all of our solutions. So in Colombia, from an outdoor perspective, we cover many different city areas with multiple outdoor solutions. That's 2,500 APs plus that cover the government down there. In India, We have over 7,000 APs and growing. You just saw the stadium. We have a highway project, but our biggest project that has unfolded over the last year and a half has been with Facebook. They want to cover all of the rural villages that are in India, and with 9 operators and thousands of APs already installed. So great connectivity and trying to connect the unconnected. And this is our latest win, Chuapal. It's 20,000 access points. It's covering villages, but it's also covering the highways. That was a great win, and we competed on that against Cisco and won the Wi-Fi network. So great applications there. So you can see it's covering the villages. Our goal is 250,000 villages to cover, or 4,000 villages, and lots of APs. And it's not the easiest installation, but it's connecting the unconnected. So when you look at a report from IDC, Cambium Networks is been put in their books as a vendor to watch. We have tremendous growth. We're growing 15 to 20% year over year, and we're investing 16% of our revenues back into R&D. So we really care about connecting the unconnected, as we are a wireless only company. If you want to look at the evolution of Wi-Fi and look at the changes that have occurred from 2002, when we were not in the Wi-Fi business, we entered the Wi-Fi business in 2014. So when you look at the beginning of Wi-Fi, you had a small thin AP. The controller was really the brains of Wi-Fi. It was easy to manage because you had 1 or 2 controllers and lots of APs. But if an AP failed, you had no connectivity in that area where the AP was. So also that controller was a bottleneck at times. Now, as we went from 2005 to 2013, then you had multiple controllers, so you could handle higher speeds. And you had APs that really didn't have much intelligence, if any intelligence at all. That came more in the area of 2015-16. We had a lot of cost, manufacturers had a lot of cost in the controllers themselves. And you also had to really engineer the back end network at that time. So the introduction of some smart edges were coming out in 2013. And in 2014, we developed our first APs. We brought an E400, but we decided we only wanted cloud management of those APs. We wanted to make it easy to deploy, least cost, but a quality, affordable solution. So that's when we developed everything up to the 802.11 AC standard. Of course, we have cloud controller, CN Maestro today. We're frictionless. In other words, the APs don't have to be connected to CN Maestro to work. We have all smart APs, so if one fails, the other neighboring AP will take over that traffic. Now, the next evolution, which I really don't show on this slide, is pertaining to the next standard and the next chipset of AX, 802.11ax. And what that will do is quadruple the density of what an AP can do for you. So today, most people do, mostly 512 clients, and AX standard will go up to 1,056. So that's coming next year, and everybody is working, the chipsets aren't even out yet. So everybody will be releasing new XAPs next year. But one thing you need to know is the standard on AX is backward compatible to the AC standard Wave 2. So that's good news. The CM Pilot family of products is indoor and outdoor APs with CN Maestro, our cloud controller. So you can have the controller, our controller, which is free. You can put it on premise, which is free, or you don't have to use it at all, and you can use a built-in feature in CN Pilot, which is autopilot, auto RF, and it allows you to program one AP, indoor or outdoor, we don't care, and it will program up to 31 other APs. We're talking mainly about the outdoor today. So the original cast of APs that we had, we came out with the E500. The E500 is our omnidirectional. We have many installations and work with the E500. It is a wave one standard, and it is 2x2. The E501S is a wave 2 standard, and it's a sectorized antenna inside. So that is a 90 to 120 degree sector. And then our last AP that we came out with late last year, early this year, was our E502S, and that's our 30 degree sector. The same housing on all of these units. In those boxes, you'll get a tilt strap, and also a tilt bracket to use. And these, again, are onboarded by our CN Maestro platform. But our newest introduction, and we will make public introduction of this in the next few weeks, and it will start shipping to distributors like Microcom in the next week or so, is our CN Pilot E700 Outdoor. Now this is a Wave 2 4x4 unit. So when we look at it, it's the same housing. We have a few new things that I'll go through with the E700, but the plastics are pretty much the same, lightweight, IP67 rated, so if you've got it in a warm place or a cold place, no issues. We have vents on it, so if you've got a dusty environment, we will handle that. So again, same housing as the other units. So the outdoor E700 is bigger and bolder and better. So it is Wave 2. You can use up to 512 users. On the other 3 units, it's 256 users. Same 16 SSIDs, IP67 rated, just like all the other units. We do have the capability on a 2x2 antenna for using on the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum, and then a 4x4 antenna on the 5 gigahertz spectrum. And these are the gains. Everybody always wants to know the power gain and antenna gain, and pretty stout unit. Works very, very well. Here's a look at what I talked about on all of our units. On this unit, it is optional to purchase a tilt bracket. So you can do that. Every box comes with that mounting strap that you do see. So when you have a sectorized antenna, you generally use a tilt bracket because you're either tilting it up or tilting it down, depending on what you're looking at. If you had an outdoor unit and you're looking down into a stadium, of course you'd tilt down. But if you're on a soccer field, you might tilt it up. So again, the strap is included, and the tilt mount on this unit, the E700, is an optional accessory. We have added a cold start heater in this, and some cooling fins. So those are the temperature ranges that we go to with the E700. PoE out. Let's talk about this. PoE out, what the benefit on this PoE out is you'll take your PoE switch to power one unit, which powers that E700 that you see. And then let's say you want to put a camera on the other. It will also power that camera. So you have 2 PoE out, different than anybody else in the industry. And LED lights to see that the unit is on, and that is software programmable. So if somebody wants to turn that off, they can. You can see the backhaul capability that we have between our other APs. So let's say you're going to a stadium. The first thing you need to do at a stadium is bring the internet in. But then you want to take the internet and bring it to different locations within the stadium and then spread it around by the E700. That's done by our backhaul solutions, otherwise known as our point-to-point or point-to-multipoint, and that would be our 450 platforms or our EPMP platforms. And that's just a little depiction and solution of that. We do have filter guards to filter out LTE and that 2.4 gigahertz band. So that's very important to always understand if you have LTE filters so you don't have interference. And just, you know, a lot of engineers like to show chipsets, so there they are. So small cells are everywhere, and that's why the LTE filtering is so important at that 2.4 gigahertz range. And then you can see the bands there that this will cover. Now, why would you buy the E500, which is our Wave 1 radio, 2x2, or our E700? Well, the antenna patterns and the gain, the power gain, are greater on the 700. So you can see the E500 in the blue, And then you can see in the outside red, that's where the E700 falls in place. So better antenna for coverage. And then you can see the E700 and the E500 again there in the 5 gigahertz range where we have the 4x4 antenna. You know, it definitely is a lot better than the E500. But depending on what your solution is, I've seen the E500, it's rated on the data sheet, it's rated 700 feet. I have seen it go 3/4 of a mile. So remember, that's without interference, trees, big metal buildings, things like that. So this E700, I think it's rated at, I think it's a little under a half mile, but it definitely will go quite far. So if you have applications like campgrounds, RV parks, national parks, get some good coverage out of the E700. We did some mesh testing, so you can mesh these. You could mesh E500 with a 700, two 700s. Remember, in meshing, no matter what manufacturer you have, you really only want to do one hop on a mesh. Otherwise, the bandwidth keeps going down in half. So we do have that capability. And here's a look at a comparison of the 700 versus the 500. It's a higher gain antenna, and on the 5 gigahertz radio, of course, you have the 4x4 receive antennas, so more throughput for you. That's just a little look overall. Sometimes people will want to have a look side by side. You know, double the users, the two different, you know, 4x4 and 2x2 versus just the 2x2, wave 1 standard versus wave 2 standards, more users, all things of that nature. A little bit greater, it can be a little colder out because we have the cold start now in the 700. The cold start is not in the other 3 units, and a little warmer temperatures for deserts and things of that nature. And surge protection, looking at that, it's greater in the E700. So we are keeping the E500 in our portfolio. It is a popular AP, just adding more robust, bigger, bolder, better E700 to that. So CN Pilot is our frictionless wireless product, and it's all managed by our cloud. Remember, the cloud is at no charge, whether you use our cloud, which is housed at AWS, or you use the cloud behind your firewall. And it manages indoor, outdoor, it also manages our backhaul, our EPMP. So great solution with our cloud. And I have to say, I've used our CN Maestro for demonstrations. Very easy to use, very intuitive, good product. Oops. There. So, in conclusion, look at our cloud, look at CN Pilot, and think of Cambium, all things wireless. Julie, over to you.
Thank you very much, Judy, for that presentation. We enjoyed it very much. And it looks like I do have a couple of questions for you. I'm going to go ahead and start off with our first one here.
Okay.
You mentioned deployments in other countries such as Colombia, India, Africa, for the access points. Can you tell us if you've had deployments in Mexico?
Yes, we have several large partners in Mexico and distributors that specialize in that marketplace. We have had several installations. And with the E700 or any of our units, we do testing before the product goes out in all of our countries, our major countries. So yes, if anybody needs a contact in Mexico, I can get you in contact with the sales leader, or if just need to know what area of Mexico, and I can get anybody in contact with that person from Cambium Networks.
Excellent, thank you. We may reach out for that information from you. Next question here. Are the outdoor access points weather resistant, or do we have to purchase enclosures?
No, they are weather resistant. So when we talk about that range of temperatures, -40, -65, you know, all the way up to +40 or 45, that those are the temperatures. The housing itself is IP67 rated. So when you look at IP67, it is a standard. So for instance, if you were in, and I'll tell you an example, we have an E500 up on the base camp of Mount Everest. And you know how cold that gets, not as cold as the top. but that rating goes to IP67. Most of our competitors only go to IP65. So yes, they are definitely. No enclosure, the antennas are inside. Great question.
Thank you very much. Next question here for you. When you have restrictions on the number of users per unit, does it restrict to the point where it may not work? For example, when you showed the E700 that has 512 user limit, if it goes over that, does it stop working or what happens?
The 512 is not a software limitation or limitation of the AP. It's just generally within the standard of Wave 2 AC and a 4x4 antenna that you can get about 512 users. Most of our competitors, and in this business, if you're in the Wave 1 area, 2x2 antenna, it's usually 256 users. 4x4 goes to 512. Your real limitation is the bandwidth on the internet and the channels within the APs and how much channel size you give and how you limit how much somebody can have or the time that they're on the Wi-Fi. That's the real limitation.
Thank you for that, Judy. Next question here. Regarding the tilt mount brackets, are they included with the E700? Are they in the box or are they separate?
On the E700, they are a separate accessory. You get the strap in the box, but you do not get the tilt mount. The other units have the tilt mount in their box. The rationale here on this is because it wasn't sectorized, a lot of people will not tilt it up or down. That's why we made it an accessory that is purchasable.
Understood. Thank you for that. A few more questions here. How does the E700 compare to similar product competitors?
Price-wise, we're probably half of what our competitors are. Then we have the free CN Maestro, which you see on the screen. The antennas, I would probably say our antennas are probably about 25 to 30% better. But where we are much better is the housing, the weight of the unit. It is very light, and the 2 PoE out ports on the unit. Nobody else has that. So that's the difference. And I think when you put ours up against a competitor, just the price, the weight, and the 2 PoE outs, plus the IP67, I think we're the top of our game and the top of the game for outdoor APs and Wi-Fi. If you find one better, if you find one better,
very exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question. CN Pilot, it's free, like you mentioned. Does it have any paid features for further upgrades?
Yes, we have 2 that are being released. They're in beta trial right now. One is a pro package for reporting. Now, our other package is our multi-tenancy package, and that is in beta. They should be coming out, we think, July, August. They were a little delayed. Now, since we do not license our APs, and that's another advantage of CN Pilot, these pro packages you can purchase on a yearly basis for use during the whole year. It covers every AP you have. And then if you buy it one year and you don't want it the next year, you don't have to pay for it then, and you don't have it. So those are the 2 pro packages that are on the near horizon.
Excellent, thank you. Next question. You mentioned the cloud was free of charge. Is there a limit of the number of devices that can be added to the cloud?
It's interesting. We went out to a whole bunch of our partners, several that are in Wi-Fi, that are in backhaul. There is no software limitation at this time, and we have one partner that has over 10,000. So there's no software limitation at all at this time. Now they're depending on if you put Maestro in your data center, there's still no Maestro limitation. There just might be some limitations in the configuration of the network.
Excellent, thank you. Last question here. Does Cambium have a forum for customers to go in and chat, and is it free?
Yes, we have a community forum. So if you go to www.cambiumnetworks.com and you go to the top of the website, you'll see resources at the top, one of the real easy places to look, and then you can go to the community forum. The forum is, number one, it is free. We, like many of our competitors, will answer questions on that. We will post to it like many other competitors. We also do not charge for support. We do ask that a ticket be open for support, and the support that is no cost is 8x5, Monday through Friday, of course, that's what the 5 is. And then we do have some premium packages in Cambium Care. And where those would apply is if you have a larger network. Let's say you have a network operator and or you have Wi-Fi that's deployed over 18 locations in the U.S. running across an MPLS network, and you have to provide a service level agreement to a customer. We have some of those packages, so you could include our products in and make sure that you get the SLA as the partner and or the end user. But those are purchasable. You don't have to purchase any of those.
Excellent. Thank you, Judy. That was extremely informative. And thank you so much for answering all of those questions. And thank you to everyone for attending today. And if there are any further questions, please feel free to contact your sales rep or email us at sales@microcomtech.com. If you wish to view any of the products mentioned or shown here today, hopefully they will be there in the please visit us at www.microcom.us. And also, please remember this webinar has been recorded and it will be uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel so it can be viewed again. So thank you again, Judy, for your time and your presentation. We greatly appreciate it today.
Thank you.
Welcome.